I'm Craig Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different and every breakup is different. Work with me and you'll get professional help on your situation. And if you're in no contact, focused on personal growth, my workbook series, The Knowledge, will help you make changes like you've never made before. Available now at AskCraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And today we're going to be talking about I made all the mistakes after the breakup.
Oh no.
Every single one of them. All 463. Including watching, never mind.
Uh-oh.
We won't name names. Mm-hmm. So many of you guys come to the channel after your breakup and you see our videos and realize, oh my gosh, I did all these things. Mm-hmm. I made all these mistakes. I did all these things after my breakup, and now my situation is hopeless. So we're going to be talking about this today because I'm sure many of you are kicking yourselves, beating yourselves up, and really just constantly evaluating your situation and looking at all those mistakes that you've done and just catastrophizing that this is it. I have no more chances. It's never going to turn around now.
Yeah.
But that's not true. That's not true. Many of the people that get their ex back have made a lot of mistakes. So we're going to talk about this today.
So first off, we want to normalize making mistakes. Nobody is perfect and everybody screws up once in a while. It's part of being human.
Yeah.
So if you did make any of the classic mistakes, begging and pleading, know that this is a natural response. You are responding to the shock of somebody that you love leaving you.
Yeah.
And so there's no reason to adding more shame on top of that. So it is an instinct reaction. So you are in the protest phase. I know Margaret has made a couple of videos about this already, but it's the same type of reaction as when a parent leaves a child.
Yeah. It's like that primal panic.
Exactly.
And you know, this isn't something that we consciously think about. It's like we're just overwhelmed with this instinct to reconnect with our loved ones because it literally feels like our life is on the line. And when that happens, you know, you feel like you're drowning. You feel like you're suffocating. There's so many different things that you just are trying to survive. It feels like you're trying to keep yourself alive.
Yeah.
And so it's normal. And, you know, when I started researching breakup all those years ago, you know, I started to put it together like, hey, this is not a conscious thing that we do. We're just so overwhelmed that we can't help ourselves.
Yeah.
And that separation anxiety, you know, that's like ingrained when we're infants and we're babies and we're crawling away, that we know instinctually don't crawl too far away from your mom or your dad. Nature keeps you close to them, that secure base, because you could wander off a cliff, you could come across a bear. You know, obviously I'm talking about thousands of years ago and probably not last week in your camping trip, but it's understandable for you to do these things. And so just realize that many people, most people are going to make some of the quote unquote mistakes that people make after somebody break up with them. And don't beat yourself up.
Yeah.
It's not going to help you. It's not going to improve your chances. It's just going to make you probably feel more depressed.
Right.
And that puts you in a worse state to try and turn things around.
You hit on a really important point, and that's when you are feeling this way, you feel like you're the only one feeling this way.
Yeah.
And you might even think to yourself, man, I'm so needy. Man, I'm so annoying, or whatever it is. But there are many people going through the same exact feeling. And so there could be comfort in knowing that you're not alone. So a breakup can test the emotional limits of anyone.
Yeah.
So this is important to remember because during a breakup, you might feel like you're weak. Like, why can't I handle this terrible feeling? Why can't I sit with this feeling? Why can't I be alone with this feeling? And so knowing that a breakup, a separation, it's hard for anybody who attaches.
Yeah.
And it's actual proof of your ability to attach. So you're not weak for making those mistakes. You're human. And you're human for reacting in the way that you did.
Yeah. Except for those of you that are aliens out there. You may have acted in an alien way.
That's true. I don't know what they do after a breakup.
They smarble into their Glargosphere, of course.
Obviously.
But, humans, what do? We beg, we plead, I'll change.
Yeah.
I'll do whatever I can. We tell them how much we love them. I love you so much. I'll do anything that you can to fix this.
Yeah.
The grand gesture. And, this is why I talk about the Applebee's girl.
Yeah.
People are like, why do you still bring it up? Well, because I made these mistakes. And I know what it's like to do these things.
Yeah.
The grand gesture, where I did a grand gesture and tried to do something. I bought her flowers. I went and got a bunch of groceries. I went and did the lawn and planted flowers in the front because she said she had one in the garden. And, all of these things, thinking that, it would show her, wow, he really does care about me. So maybe I should reconsider that. A lot of times you'll hear people tell you to do the handwritten letter. In my experience, it doesn't work. It might work every once in a while, but anything might work once in a while.
Yeah.
A broken clock is right twice a day. So...
Now, we are not against letter writing in general. Like, it could be very therapeutic to write down what you're feeling, to write down what you would say to an ex. Sending it?
No. Burn it, shred it, throw it in the garbage.
Yeah, exactly.
Send it to the moon, whatever you have to do. Even if you made these mistakes, it doesn't mean your situation can't turn around. It absolutely can be salvageable. You can do something. But that starts with respecting the other person and leaving them alone. Don't stalk them. Don't harass them. Don't abuse them. Because I have seen many cases where the police get involved and then it only makes it a lot more challenging to turn around.
Yeah. And I think that's a really important point, is there is the exception, and that is if there was any legal involvement, if the police got involved, or if it got to the point where you were abusive to them. Because another response to losing somebody you love could be having a tantrum and could be responding in a volatile way that risks their safety. So you want to be very sure of managing your emotions so it doesn't get to that extent. But for the most part, if you just had an emotional meltdown and you weren't to the point where it was abusive, you had a vulnerable moment. And part of that is accepting it and realizing that it doesn't define you. It doesn't define you in your eyes, and it doesn't define you in your ex's eyes either. And so this is really important when talking about the power of attachment. So we believe that attachment is so powerful, not only to let you react in such a way to your partner's absence, but also so powerful that it can cause your ex to reconsider the relationship.
Yeah, I really don't think there's anything more powerful than love. And, even though your ex might be angry at you and upset at you for doing all these things after the breakup, it doesn't mean that at some point they can't miss you and really think about the entire relationship, the good, the bad, your great qualities, the qualities that you have to work on, and also take a look at themselves and realize that they are a part of this breakup too, that you really want to see that they are taking some responsibility for it, not just blaming you still.
Right.
So, if you're at this point, what do? Well, you got to stop reaching out. You have to respect what they want and show them that you are centered and strong and not going to continue to chase them, or that you have no emotional self-control, where it's like you're addicted to this person and you feel like you're kind of relapsing on an addiction. You can always choose to start no contact. Now, we're not telling you to break no contact, but we're saying if you had, and you're watching this video now, start right now.
Exactly.
That's what you can do, is start right now and respect what they want right now.
Yeah, and to add to that, right now is a great time to work on your anxiety. I think making a mistake after a breakup, even during the relationship, in life in general, is a message. It's a data point about how you are doing right at this moment. So your reaction to the breakup is a message. It's telling of your ability to self-soothe. It's telling of your fear of abandonment. and also your past injuries and hurts. So there's things that can be worked on and can be improved, but seeing your reaction and seeing what mistakes you did make is information for you. And it can be information to your healing process to say, okay, this is where I am right now. It's kind of like workout photos. You know, when you take a before and after, this could be your before. You could take that picture, remember this moment as a screenshot, and continue your journey. And as you have different relationships, as you interact with other people, you can see that growth as you continue to work on your anxiety. So your anxiety is a message.
Yes. It's very reflective of what happened in your early childhood. And I really believe that is also closely tied to our mental health and our ability to handle stress and adapt and to communicate and to nurture and to give space and all the things that come with a connection. You have to work on those things. And, you know, it might not be your fault that you grew up in a traumatic home and you grew up seeing parents fighting all the time and your mom had a lot of anxiety or depression, or your parents didn't know how to self-soothe you or, you know, teach you the skills that we're trying to teach you. But it's about looking at things and working on those issues now. Because if you don't do it, it's going to come back up again. Either your ex is going to come back and you're going to make those mistakes with them again, or you're going to meet somebody new, fall in love with somebody else, and wind up doing those same mistakes and not even realize it, and then wind up ruining another relationship.
Exactly. It's really important that you express what's happening and that you're able to talk about it and heal from it, and also have those supports around you that you can confide in. Like, hey, I didn't react in the best way and this is how I'm feeling about it. And having just a listening ear. And whether that's a friend, whether that's a therapist, which we strongly encourage for you to get if you are able to. There's also low-cost clinics that offer therapy. So if you can find those services, please use them because they are there to help.
A pet?
A pet definitely helps
Margaret
a
would
lot.
tell you get a dog.
That's very true. So just because you are not speaking to your ex and just because you're not sending them a handwritten letter doesn't mean that you don't have the chance to express what you're feeling. Like I mentioned earlier, it could be helpful to write a letter, not to send it, and to just use that as an outlet. Or even, this might sound crazy, but talking to yourself out loud, saying what would you say to them, and kind of acting that out and finding different ways, therapeutic ways to get those emotions out, get all of those feelings inside that are bottled up that you might even feel a lot of shame for, just saying them out in the open, even if it means you're, you know, on the road in your car and nobody else can hear you and that's your quiet, safe space, but using everything you can to heal from it.
Yeah. It would be understandable if you're embarrassed about what you did and you're ashamed about what you did. A lot of times when you guys are on the call, you're telling me you're embarrassed about what you did.
Yeah.
I'm not going to beat you up about that stuff, you know? Obviously, I'm trying to set you on the right path and trying to get you focused on a positive way to behave and a plan and a strategy. But I understand the mistakes. And that's why I talk openly about my mistakes, because I get it. And I know you guys can see, hey, he's been through this too. He understands. So work on your mental health. Work on your attachment issues. While we are very therapeutic, you know, you want to look into get a personal therapist for you locally. That can be very helpful. Now, be careful if they give you strategies and a plan. We are not trained in our master's programs to learn about breakup strategies or get your ex back strategies.
Exactly.
This is something that Margaret and I put together for many, many years before we put it together and brought Coach Vicky on board, right? So it's not like I learned this in grad school. No, they don't teach, there's no classes on breakups in grad school, sadly.
There should be. There should be.
I should start a course. But it's okay if you made the mistakes. And all you can do is learn from it, grow from it, do your best not to make any more mistakes, and focus on who you want to be after this breakup, and do it for yourself. Don't do it just because you're trying to get your ex back, and don't do it based on your ex's interest level, because there are many, many times where your ex looks like they're never coming back, they're never going to give you another chance, you're never going to hear from them again, you lose your motivation, and then they come back.
Yep.
And that is the worst, because then you really feel bad. So always act as if they're going to come back and that you're going to be ready. And if they don't, you'll find somebody else and you'll blow them away.
Exactly. And it's completely normal that you do feel shame for your mistakes, but just try to remember that it doesn't define you, and it doesn't mean that your breakup is unsalvageable.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Hopefully you found this video helpful. Of course, if you want to get my help personally, just go to my website, askcraig.net. Sign up for the coaching option that works best for you. I do email coaching and I do Skype. Coach Victoria, of course, is going to continue training with us.
I'll be here.
And eventually you'll be able to do a coaching with her as well. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
I'm Coach Victoria.
And we will talk with you soon. To get my help personally, go to askcraig.net and click on Schedule Coaching and choose the option that works best for you. I do email coaching or Skype. To schedule a coaching with Margaret, click on Margaret on the top of the page and order a Skype with her. For the Knowledge Creative Healing course, click on the link at the top of the page and click Get Started Now.